Welcome to the Mack Talks, everybody. I am your host, Scott Johnson. This guy is my co-host and your co-host, Chase Hutchison.
What's up, guys?
Chase, do me a favor, and like you always do so beautifully, describe to everybody what the Mack Talks are.
So if you're a business owner, entrepreneur, or community leader, the Mack Talks are the vehicle that brings you the stories that you need to hear.
That's right. And today we are obviously off-site. We're in Boston, in Chinatown. We came here for an event for Mack Media. So we figure, why not do a podcast from a dude who's from Boston? So Chase, why don't you go ahead, introduce our guest, and then we'll just get right into it.
Super excited about our guest today. Operating, as Scott said, out of Chinatown, Boston, we have Scott Sandinato. He's a Boston-based director, editor, producer, and promoter who, after falling in love with hip-hop at a very young age, decided to dedicate his life to capturing music and performances. He now specializes in music videos, live show performances, and promotional videos, as well as a lot of other stuff. I know there's almost too much to name. In 2017, Scott shot for the Art of Rap Tour, as well as the Boston Freedom Rally, where he works with artists starting from all the way from the OGs, from Rakim, Ice-T and Bone Thugs and Harmony, all the way to the new wave like Chris Webby and Token. Scott is also the creator of the Off the Mic monthly series, where a new featured artist speaks about their influences, projects, upcoming music, and productions. Scott, welcome to the podcast. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, man, how are you?
Welcome to Boston. You guys park your car over the Harvard Yard or what?
It's funny. Yeah, so Scott's not from Chinatown. We're in Chinatown. I just want to make sure that we got
I've
that,
eaten here a
we got
lot,
that
but
clear.
not from.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot for joining us. It was awesome when when I reached out to you online and you had said, I asked you, where you're from. You said, I'm up in Boston. I'm like, we got a show in a couple of weeks. It'd be great to come up there and interview you. We love Off the Mic. We love a lot of the stuff that you're doing. So we just wanted to kind of get together and kind of chop it up a little bit.
Absolutely.
All right.
What do you want to know?
Cool. So obviously you work with a lot of these different rappers and stuff like that. Tell us a little bit about 2017 and how that was a big year for you.
2017 was my kind of entrance year, because in 2016 I did a lot of you can't just walk into the scene and be like, hey, I can do a video for you. Like, well, what have you done?
Yeah.
So you kind of have to do a lot of free work.
Yep.
To get a catalog to be able to show people. So I was kind of in 2017 I was really getting my boots in the ground and going out and meet people and network and going to the clubs, trying to see if I could get in, stuff like that. And I got a call from a friend of mine. And he had actually hit me up when I first started this in 2015 to see if I'd want to do an Ice-T video. And I'm like, listen, I'm using a video camera right now. Like, I'd be embarrassed. Like, I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I said, hit me up in a few years after I get some experience. So he did. And he said, listen, we're doing the Art of Rap Tour. It's coming to town. Do you want to put together a team? Mm-hmm. I'm like, I was thinking just to be able to shoot it, but now he wants to put together a team.
Yeah. So
now I have to think of who I want to bring with me. And there's a lot of talent in this town.
Yeah.
So I decided to bring Kyle Benaki, who's a videographer, and John Mooney, who is an unbelievable photographer. Mm-hmm. And they were very happy that, I asked them to come, and, we're all hip hop heads, and, being on stage, it was probably the best experience of my life, because I grew up listening to these guys' tapes, to the point they would break and have to buy a new one.
Yeah, right. Tapes. We're going way back here, Chase. We're going tapes.
And it wasn't for any money. It was for the exposure.
Yeah.
Like to be able to cover that. But the one thing that happened, and you learn in this business, is I didn't double back up my footage. Oh. And I lost everything that I shot. Oh. But luckily, Kyle had all his stuff.
He had all his stuff.
He had all the far away stuff. I had all the close stuff. But there was enough to put together a video.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And he kind of saved the day. But I learned a big lesson. I cried. Ice-T wasn't even supposed to perform, and he came out and did colors, and I had that. I was just like, you're kidding me.
Oh man.
But that you live and learn.
But a lot of us have those make or break moments though too, where you mess up like something, you make a big mistake, and it's how you bounce back from that, and how you pick yourself back up off the ground and say, you know what, I don't care. I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to do better moving forward.
Absolutely.
And that's
now
awesome.
You back up, and then you back up the backup, I'm sure.
But then see that one big thing happened, and then like a month or two later, my buddy Bobby Turner called me up and said, hey, do you want to come on set for Token's video?
Yeah.
And he had just started to come out the gate, and he was hot.
Yeah.
And
he's from Boston, or is he from outside of Boston?
I believe he's from Marblehead.
Okay.
Marblehead, Salem area.
Okay.
But this kid's unbelievable. Like his work ethic.
Yeah,
Just,
he seems like he really loves the game.
Yeah,
so.
and you know what? There's 1,000,000 rappers out here, and
Yep.
the market is oversaturated with SoundCloud rappers that have one song that don't really do it, and then there's guys that are in the studio all day writing, doing stuff. Like those are the guys that are gonna make it or break it. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yep.
And I'm blessed to be able to work with a lot of these people. You know, they had me on the set to do some behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah.
I took some photos. So I never really did. People think I do token videos and I don't. All his videos are done by Ben.
A lot of selfies with him.
Well, I mean,
You're there working
this,
with your
this
buddies.
kid's gonna be
Yeah, no,
a
definitely.
legend someday.
Yep.
Like I truly believe that.
No,
Like,
I think so too.
you know,
he's got skills.
He's in his own
And he's got
lane.
his head on his shoulders too.
He
It
really
seems like
does.
from what it's hard to tell because I'm just looking at him through social media, but
Well, that's the thing. I mean, that's how you portray people nowadays. Is you see how they are on social media. Like he's actually a very quiet kid. But
Yeah.
he's a genius. He's a brilliant genius.
yeah, no, he's definitely got the whole the lyricist thing down. So that's awesome.
So yeah, I get to go on a lot of those sets with Ben Proul and Project 2 Studios, and they just got nominated for a Grammy for the Joyner Lucas "I'm Not Racist" video,
yeah,
which is huge.
I
So-
saw that
it,
video.
yeah.
is sick.
So to learn with these guys and watch them work, it's been so beneficial to me.
That's
You know,
amazing.
it's
150
great.
million views, I think that has.
yeah,
Some more, maybe more.
yeah,
For,
that's
for,
amazing.
for which one? Oh yeah, oh,
Yeah, the
it's-
I'm Not
it's-
Racist.
it's up
Yeah,
there.
I'm not
It's up
racist
there.
one. Even
Yeah.
people that don't even know anything about hip hop or rap music, they're watching that. That became
Because of the message.
the message and how it
Yeah.
went back
It was-
and
it
forth.
was controversial, yeah.
yeah, it was very controversial. But you know, I thought it was great. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? For a minute, I was almost like, "What the hell am I watching here?" Like it took me a second to figure it out. Like,
Well, it was so great that it caught the ear of Eminem, and then Eminem
Yeah.
did a track with him, and
That's what
just-
kind of led it to him.
And now that's
Yeah.
that's nominated for Grammy as well.
yeah, no,
It came out too. It wasn't that 2016, and that was like the year that Trump, or was that 2017?
No. This
it was the year.
was all this year. This
2018
is
2018?
when all the when I'm Not
Well,
Racist
anyway,
came out.
right when the whole thing with Trump and all of that's coming to a head, like it was
Yeah.
perfect timing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. The timing on it was good
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
So tell us what it was like to. So did you get to meet Ice-T and Rakim and?
Oh,
Grandmaster
absolutely,
Flash
yeah.
and-
When we got there, they gave us media passes and they said, "All right, we're going to take you down here." And they basically gave us a dressing room right across from Bone Thugs of Harmony.
Yeah.
Rakim was here.
That's great.
Ghostface and Raekwon. It's like, and
Yeah.
they're just hanging out back there. And the one thing I learned when I first started getting in this business is, don't be overexcited when you meet a celebrity.
Yeah, just acting. Yeah.
So when you I feel like through the years of all the people I've met, when you treat them like they're not somebody, they appreciate it a
Yeah.
lot more.
Yep.
And you got to understand, they really are just regular people. They've just have done more.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
yeah.
And I just think they respect you more when you're not like, oh my God, when I met Ed O.G., like that's a guy from Boston who kind of was like the first guy to come out of Boston. And
Yeah.
To actually, I picked him up in my dad's truck. And
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like,
right.
this guy's tape, I listened to until it broke 1,000 times. And when I did his interview, I really wanted to go back to the first spot where he shot his first video.
Yeah.
I got to have it.
Yeah.
And we actually shot it on the stairs of this place. And when he shot it, the place was decrepit and falling down. Now it's all beautiful.
Yeah, that's funny.
And a lot of people got it. A lot of people in Boston knew the minute they saw it that's where that came from.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. But so like one of my guys that I loved growing up, I mean, I'm 42, so one of the other guys that I liked that a lot was Rakim. I mean, Rakim was
When he came into the
unbelievable.
game, it was like people were doing rap, and it was all kind of like fun party music. And he came in and he made it lyrical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him and Big Daddy Kane. I mean,
Yep.
they were really lyrical rappers, and they were saying things that other rappers weren't saying, and they were very deep messages. And it
Yeah.
was just like, this guy's changing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
no.
always been one of my favorites, and he was mad cool too.
And
Yeah.
he's like a scientist with his
Yeah, he
verses.
is.
He is.
He'll
He
break it down and he'll be like this many beats on this line, and then the next line, this has to rhyme, and it has to be. It's so scientific the way that he broke it down.
Yeah, he's
too.
definitely a legend. So
It's been amazing to be able to go into studios with artists. Like I go into the studio. I've been in studio with John Glass, who was Token's producer for their first album.
Yep.
And he's a very talented producer. So going to see him work, I've seen Knox Beats work, and he's the guy who does a lot of Joiners and Token's new album.
Yeah.
And these guys are all local guys.
that's awesome.
And some people say that there's no hip hop scene in Boston, but there is.
I
There
think
there is a huge amount of talent here, from videographers to photographers to hip hop artists, R&B singing, spoken word. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
and it's alive and breathing.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
And it's great to be a part of it. It really is.
So take us back to kind of like your younger days and kind of how you got to the point that you got to now. I know that, I know that you had kind of mentioned before, and I read in your bio a little bit that, you had some trouble with crime and just dealing with some different things, and you were able to kind of turn your life around.
When I was growing up, I was a kid that I was very shy. I wasn't around a lot of people. I got picked on a lot. I was bullied.
Yep.
I wasn't the social butterfly that I am now.
Yeah.
And, when I got older, I met these guys and, they were selling weed and I kind of got into that. And then, it got bigger and bigger and, too big than it should be. But I was on the opposite side of the spectrum. I wasn't the kid being bullied. I was the kid that the girls want to hang out with or that people want to hang out with. When you think about it, when it all leads down to where it ended up, which ended up me being in jail for 2 years.
Yeah.
It's not worth it in the end.
Yep.
And when I came out, I had nothing. Like I had no career. I wasted 20 years of my life selling drugs and doing stupid shit. I mean, I had a blast a lot of the times.
Yeah. You had some fun nights, but ultimately you had nothing
but there's nothing to show for that, you know? So when I first decided, I always wanted to do something to do with film. I was always a big kid, movies. Like when I had no friends, my mother would drop me off the theater for the day.
Yeah.
I'd watch 5 movies and go home like that. And it was homework to me.
You'd pay the one ticket and you'd stay in the theater and watch them keep going.
No, I didn't know that when I was that young. I do that now, but
that's funny.
But it's like, I lost my train of thought when you said that.
No, you were just talking about, how you got out and you had
oh yeah,
nothing
so now I wasn't that. I'm on the other side of the spectrum, and now when I get out, I had nothing to do. So I picked up a camera. It was actually a borrowed camera from my friend Tom. Tom.
So prior to jail and everything else, you had no experience with. You liked movies.
Well, originally I wanted to be an actor. I took 3 years of acting school right here at Actors Workshop of Boston. I did a few in-house plays. I've been in a couple movies, background stuff, but this is all after jail because I kind of right at the end of acting school, I got involved in the club scene, and that was just.
Yeah, and that's what took you off.
That was like a 10-year thing that just. It was a blur.
Yeah.
So when I get out. My friend Tom Chia, he's a coach of Taekwondo down in Rhode Island. He's one of the top coaches. He's been nominated. His team has won several medals, like more than anything. And he said, "Hey, why don't you use my camera and come on and do some of the tournaments?" So I said, "I'll try it out." So I started shooting the tournaments and. We brought it home. We looked at the footage, and he's like, "Dude, this is like ESPN." And I'm like, "Get out of here!" And he's like, "No, you have that eye."
Yeah.
So he started taking me around the country. I was doing the Junior Olympics. We did the nationals in Vegas. Like he took me all around the country.
That's great.
And I got to film Olympians and do all this great work. And Taekwondo is such a huge sport and it's worldwide.
Yeah.
So I started to brand my name. On the second trip, he surprised me and he had a tracksuit with the sandal films on it and everything, and I was all official. Then I started to get the hats.
Yeah.
And when I started this, I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
So I was doing everything from buses and trains. Like I would have to go to the Middle East to
lugging that equipment
to shoot a show.
Yeah.
And the last train's 12:30, so I'd have to leave the show early and then go to Quincy and take an Uber back to where I lived in Harlem.
Yeah. Wow.
And I did that for a long time, but I always had the Sandal Films hat on. I always had the shirt on. So a lot of people have come up to me and said, "Oh yeah, I saw you on the train one day. I looked it up and liked your videos."
That's great.
So
I mean, it's a great entrepreneurial story. I mean, you're able to kind of, you went through kind of some hardships and, the way that you kind of grew up and stuff like that. And you kind of, found yourself going down that wrong path. But then, you went to jail, turned your life around. Sounds like this guy, Tom, like really kind of took you under his wing.
Yeah, we were friends before I went to jail and, he just saw something in me that
that's
I
awesome.
think other people didn't.
Yep.
And I had very supportive parents, which thank God, because I don't know where I would end up. If I didn't have them, I probably would have been back doing crime. Because when you get out of jail and you have 12 felonies, you're not getting a job. Nobody's hiring you.
Yeah.
But there are people that go to jail, learn their lesson, and want to change.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't give you that opportunity. You're marked for life.
Yeah.
So like when I got out of jail, my dad had opened a detail shop for us to run together. And we did it for several years, and it was good working for him because I could do this on the side and start to build my brand, because he knew this is what I wanted to
Yeah.
do.
Mm-hmm.
We ended up selling the business in May, and I've been doing this full time since. And it was a little struggle at the beginning, but now it's like once I feel like, oh no, what am I going to do about my next job? Somebody else calls, and there's a new job, and then there's a new job, and there's no advertising. It's my advertising is my work on social media.
And you just keep hustling, you know, and you keep just making relationships and just keep meeting people and just keep doing what you do. I mean, you know, just from knowing you for a short period of time and talking to you online and stuff, you know, you'll go places by doing that. You know what I mean? As long as you're a hustler, you do good work, you do people right, you do all those type of things, you know, which you do. You know, that's the reason why, you know, you were able to create this whole new thing for yourself, you know, when you did get out of jail, which I think is awesome.
And the one thing that's like key to this whole thing is I had a lot of help.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he built a computer for me.
Yeah.
You know, I had another friend that lent me a computer for a while.
Yeah.
When I didn't have a computer, I went into Apple store and I went to the top floor. They would let you use the computers all day, and I'd go there from beginning to end, and finish what I had to do, and go home. Like I did what I had to do
with limited resources. You know, and to be able to build it, and then now you can do, you know, the bigger projects and the bigger type of stuff that you can do. I think that's
and you know,
great.
Originally I wanted to be all just hip hop, but you know, it's there's you can't make a living off of hip hop.
Yeah.
You know, so I started doing corporate stuff, and you know, I just did a thing for author Maureen Cavanaugh. She wrote a book about her daughter's addiction and how they got through it. And Macmillan Publishing hired me to do a 4-part interview with her, and
that's awesome.
You know, that's new stuff that I like to do. And the one thing that got me my foot in the door with hip hop is I met this guy Mike Yeba. He's a director actor from South Boston, and he was looking for people to help him out on a documentary about the heroin problem in Boston. And he reached out, and you know, so a bunch of people said, "Oh, I'll help you out," and I was the one guy who showed up.
Yeah, right. That's
And it was for no money, but it was an experience. This guy was a very talented filmmaker. I'd seen a lot of his short films that he did, and you know, just by coincidence, he was really good friends with Slane.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know who Slane is, but he's one of the top rappers in Boston. He's been in Gone Baby Gone. He was in The Town.
Yeah, a couple. Yeah.
And you know, that kind of got me in the door with him, and I get to meet him, and you know, that opens doors for other things.
Yep.
Then he gave my number to Jimmy Wahlberg.
Yeah.
And that is when
That's
really,
where things
that's
really kind of
like
took
to
off.
get a phone call from Jimmy Wahlberg, and he's like, "Hey, you know, my buddy gave me a number. You want to come and help us do something?" And the first thing I ever did was he was doing a video for Sully Erna of Godsmack.
Yep.
And he's like, "I need you to go up to this recovery center and just get some B-roll stuff and then send it to us."
Yeah.
And it wasn't. I didn't ask for any money. It was just,
yeah.
you know, this is you trying to get in the door and show them what you can do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then they did a big candlelight vigil in Marlboro. My friend Kathy Lennon put together, and they asked me to come. They were going to have Sully perform there, and they were going to shoot a video there, and I went and did that with him. And then he had a short film called Different Kind of Tears, and he asked me to be part of like the crew of the PA. And when we first got there, he was talking about he was going to do these opioid summits across the country and maybe looking for somebody to do behind the scenes. So in my head, the gears start turning.
Yeah.
So as I'm working as a PA on A Different Kind of Tears, I was kind of shooting things, my own little,
Just knowing. Yeah.
just because that's what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know,
That's what you have to do
He
when you're
knew I
trying to
was
come up
doing
and
it. He knew
come
I was
up.
doing it, but he didn't know why I was doing it. He was just thinking I was going to give him the footage.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the last day, I said, "Hey Jimmy, why don't you just get on camera and just kind of tell about the last 3 days?" And he did this. And then I took everything home and I put it all together with that what he
Everything
said,
in there, yep.
laying down everything I shot, and I
Yeah.
sent it to him. And he said, "You know what? I'm going to have you come do the summits."
Yeah.
So
that's great.
So far, we've done Kentucky, and we did. What did we just do? Well, we're doing New Mexico March 6th, and we did South Carolina.
Yeah. I want to definitely check those out.
Yeah,
That's
and
awesome.
those ones, my name aren't on those because you know I'm doing it for Wall Street and for Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Youth
You're working
Foundation,
underneath.
so.
Yeah. That's great. That's cool though, man. So
Yeah, and you know he just built a studio down in Miami, and you know he definitely believes me, loves my work. So you know it could lead to something else. It's like I have relations with so many different people that you know someone's going to turn to something that.
But you're doing
I'm still
good from where
building.
you were. You got your own equipment now. You got your own stuff. You're not Ubering. You're not taking trains and stuff.
And
like
that's
that, so.
another thing. Like I had to work with a lot of shoddy equipment when I first started.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
It's like then you first get that. It's like you were trying to build up to getting the look that you wanted, and finally getting the GH5 and the 4K.
Yeah.
I finally have that look. Those beautiful slow mos. The fast motion looks beautiful.
we love
like,
the GH5.
You can do so much more with it, and like I feel like I'm growing better as an editor.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's awesome. So what do you have? So what's on tap for 2019? What do you got?
Okay,
What do you got
well,
on tap?
we're
You're
gonna-
going to obviously continue to shoot those.
I'm going to do the summits, continue to do the summits with that.
Yep.
I am going to my first off location music video shoot. I'm shooting for a very talented artist in Boston. Her name is Motivelli.
Yep.
And they're flying me out to Atlanta.
Nice.
And I'm bringing Kalbanaki with me again, the same kid who was from the Out of Rap. You know,
Mm-hmm.
if I work with somebody and they're good,
Yep,
I'm bringing
that's
you
your guy.
back.
Yeah.
So I'm bringing to him, and I think it's his first like out of state thing. So it's a big deal for us. You know, they got actors they're paying. You know, we're gonna
Nice.
rent equipment.
I can't wait
You
to
know,
see
we're
that.
taking a plane. It's it's
yeah, it's gonna be
exciting.
good.
You know?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
awesome.
So I got that going on, and then the summit in New Mexico, we're doing that, and then I'm doing some stuff with Brandy Blaze, who's an artist I've worked with since she started. I've done all her music videos, and she's really making a name for herself out here.
Yeah,
So,
that's great. What about for off the mic? I mean, I love
Off the mic,
I
okay.
love off the mic. The thing that's great about off the mic is like going back to what you'd said before is like hip hop is your thing. It's what you want to do, but you know that you can't do just that. So
Well, you can. You just have to get to that level.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So you got to mix in other stuff.
Yeah.
But like what you went and did was like, okay, well, let me go create this.
Well, let me tell you how this
Go ahead.
whole thing started.
Yeah.
I met this new upcoming female artist. Her name was H Rhymes, and we were talking about doing some work together. And I said, "Hey, let's try to film like a promo for you." So we went down to Cambridge, sat in front of the Middle East, and I just kind of asked her questions. And then when I got everything home, I looked at everything. I said, "Wait a second, you know, she's talking about, you know, TLC. I'll cut away to a TLC picture. You know, so it kind of birthed as I put that together. And the first episode became her interview. And I
Yeah.
said, you know what, I'm going to call this Off the Mic. Well, I actually get the name from my friend Hush Harding, who was somebody I worked with a lot. He taught me a lot about editing, and he came up with the name. And it just birthed into something else. And everyone I feel it gets a little bit better because you learn a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Yeah.
go back and watch the first episode. There's no lighting.
Yeah.
You know, the sound is awful. There's no background music where you just hear a mic.
Yeah,
you know,
we're trying to get there with our show. It's the same thing.
But it's
Yeah,
almost-
you
it's almost
guys
like a
kinda came out of the
podcast a
gate
little
looking
bit.
pretty professional.
Yeah,
like-
well, because we have the video production company. You know,
Yeah.
we have Mac Media is our digital marketing agency. We figure let's just do a podcast because we have all the stuff. You know what I mean? So we were already making it. So, but same thing though, like just the comfortability that we're at, like how comfortable we are now compared to where we were episode 1. You know what I mean? I had
Yeah.
to do my boy, a close friend of mine, because I'm like, I need to make this first interview with somebody that I'm really comfortable with. So we had spent so much time together. I'm like, it's gotta be, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
But I love off the mic. I think the whole concept is great. I love the one that you did with Chris Webby.
Actually, my next episode is a rapper called Annoyed, and he tours with Webby. They did a couple songs
cool.
together. And what I do now is when I first started, I just go out and shoot as many as I could. But what happened was I would have all these older shows, and then everything they were talking about isn't current to what's going on.
Yeah.
So now, you know, now that I'm very busy, before I had all the time in the world to do as many as I wanted to.
Yep.
You know, it used to be monthly, but I try to get it when I can. So when I'm getting ready to finish one, I'll reach out to a new artist to get another one shot and filmed.
No, that's great. That's great. So did you grow up in Boston? Or
I didn't.
right
I did.
outside?
I grew up in the South Shore in a town called Hull in Tasket Beach. It was very famous for an amusement park called Paragon Park back in the day.
Yep.
Beach town, surrounded by water, very small town.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, when I get involved in the criminal world,
Yeah.
you know, I branched out to Boston. You know, I'm running around the streets of Boston doing crazy shit. You know,
Yeah.
it's the way it is. Oh, I
Yeah.
don't know if I can swear.
No,
I
you
guess.
swear. You're good. You're good. There's
No,
no,
you're
there's
good.
no
I think
rules to this
I'm
podcast.
pretty good because I usually drop
you did.
F-bombs every 5 minutes.
You
so-
were good.
All right, well, trying to learn to be a professional. You know.
That's funny. So you got the video that's coming up down in Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's going to be.
And
That's
actually,
gonna
I
be good.
have a video that I shot 7 months ago for an artist. His name is Eric Day, and he just recently passed away.
Oh, that's-
he overdosed, and nobody knew this video was out there.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to just release it, so I reached out to his family.
Yeah.
And I let them know about it. I let them see it, and you know, obviously, they want it. You know, me as an artist, if I had something left behind, I'd want the world to see it. It was a really good video. you
Yeah.
know.
Yep.
I just started to get a new camera. I was working with lights, so I'm probably going to release that either on his birthday or at the memorial of his
Yeah.
death.
When
but,
did he pass?
it was just recently, a couple months ago.
Oh, that's horrible.
You know?
It sucks.
So, is there anybody in particular that you would really want to work with?
Eminem.
Yeah. Yeah,
Kidding
right.
me? Like, I think when I first started this, that was my goal, just to interview him.
Yeah.
You know, he's just, I don't know, growing up in hip hop, like when he came out of the gate, it was something like,
No,
I couldn't believe what was going on because, you know, we had the Beastie Boys.
I
and,
know.
You know, we had, you know,
When my boy
third
came
base.
over. Yeah, third base.
But nobody
yeah.
came out being like as
that.
gangster as he was and the things he was saying.
But then
like,
he was also very like the way that he was with his humor, like
yeah.
it was almost like this cynical shit.
He was
that
like
we
on
hadn't
the
really-
line of corny, but you can never call him corny
Yes.
because of the way
Yes.
this guy rapped. Like he just
That's the
around
perfect
circles.
that definition. I've never heard that before, but that's what I thought when I first started listening to him. My buddy comes over with his CD and he's like, "Yo, you got to listen to this. This Dr. Dre just signed this guy." Like,
I
you
thought
gotta
he was
listen to
black
this.
when I first heard
Yeah,
it. I can tell you the truth.
Yeah.
I really did. Like there's
Yeah.
no way is this a white guy rapping like this, saying the things he's
And
saying.
it's funny because it seems like everybody nowadays, like everybody's kind of a student of Eminem, and
Well,
every
see, that's
rapper.
all
This is
evolved
this
off
is.
of
I'm going to
Like-
tell you
yeah,
exactly
go ahead.
why.
Go ahead.
Because Eminem, when he came out as like the first white rapper to like be backed by Dre and to kill it, he set that bar so high
Yep.
that nobody could really get to that level. Now, there's a lot of people out there that are on his level.
Yep.
But it's probably because of him. They're all students of him. They actually are.
Yep.
But I hate nowadays if you still see it when somebody says, "Oh, it's the next Eminem."
Yeah,
like
you
they tried to
can't-
do that to
no,
Token.
no, you can't
You know
do
what? Maybe some of his stuff is similar. Or I mean, this is a kid who grew up listening to him. Of course, he's going to be influenced by
yep.
him. But to say he's the same artist or the next one, no, he's not the next Eminem.
Yeah, just because he's a white guy,
he's
don't
the first.
label
He's
him.
the first Token.
Yeah, exactly.
He says that.
He says
himself.
that too. Yeah, I mean, it's true. That's true. So what do you think? What's it going to take? What do we got to do? We got to do some more videos in Atlanta. We got to. Who knows?
I don't know. I mean,
You
I'm
never
just,
know, man.
Here's the thing. I'm
Just
not,
to meet him too would be awesome. I'm sure as well.
It's
never
very
know,
hard
man.
to get in a room with him. But
Yeah, right.
You never know. I mean,
never know.
He could come across one of my off the mic someday. You know,
Yeah.
just trolling the internet. Like,
Yep.
I mean, you never know where you're going to end up.
And
Like,
what somebody
did I
would wanna
think that I would have ended up on stage with Rakim and,
Yeah, I
and
know.
members of the Wu-Tang? Man, no,
I
never
know,
in
right?
my life.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right?
But that's what happens.
Yeah.
And actually, when I first met Mike Ever, I asked him. I said, "How do I break into this business?" And he said, "You got to work your fucking ass off."
Yep.
And he's right. I mean, I have a very weird sleep schedule. Like I'll sleep 3 hours, jump on the computer for 6,
Yep.
watch a movie, go to sleep for an hour, come back, edit 12 in a row.
Yep.
Like it's a constant
It's
thing.
being an entrepreneur as well. You do what you got to do.
You kind of got to give up your social life.
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
know, to come in this game at 40, in my late 40s,
Yeah. Well, that's the
You
thing
know,
that I think is amazing. and
there's a
that's
lot of
great
guys
story,
out
like-
here, young guys coming up that, you know, they're running circles around me. I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean, there's a lot of great like talent as far as video guys in here. You got Illmated Films, you got Rose Glen, you got Trespassion, you got Limitless. I mean, Redbridge Productions. I mean, there's so many guys out here that are doing amazing work.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny when I first started out, people would say, "Hey, I need a videographer," and you know, all these names would come up.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to see my name amongst those names.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's
awesome.
and it's like it's a great feeling. Like, you know, we're all friends. I don't feel like there's any competition because there's so much work out here.
Yeah. I
you
mean,
know?
you're in here. You're on your podcast praising them. So obviously,
And it's only going to
Because
be
I'm
more
not,
and more.
I'm not out to like put down.
because that's why you've
I'm not
gotten
a
to
ra-
where you've gotten.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I don't
So-
want to have bad feelings with anybody. Like I want to work with everyone.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I don't
everybody
want to
gives
have
each other
Yeah.
opportunity.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
why so obviously Mack Media, we do video production as well, and there's a company that's been in town forever, and they've done some stuff for us, and we've asked them to help us, and I've told them right to their face, I'm like, listen, like we're really aggressive. Chase heads our sales team, so we're out there. We're very, very aggressive, and I said, if we ever come across one of your accounts, like I've got sales guys that are out there, just reach out to me and let me know, because no one account is more important to me than our relationship, you know, with inside of the
Exactly.
industry of what we're doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
And also on top of that, like it's only for people in your industry and what you do, it's only going to be more and more work for those people out there because the entertainment, the media industry, the social media, whatever it is, like that's growing and expanding and getting bigger.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's only going to be more and more work moving forward.
so a question I actually had for you before we wrap up is, you know, when you were in jail or when you were getting ready to get out, you know, when you first got out of jail, did you ever imagine that you would be, you know, where you are? And I know that you're still just in
no,
the
you
beginning
know,
parts of your kind of your career.
I'm going to tell you an interesting story.
Yeah.
When I got out of jail, I didn't do the right thing.
Okay.
I started doing drugs again.
Okay.
And stupid shit.
Yep.
I got a little out of control.
Yep.
And one night at a party, my friend Melanie Palmer gave me a folder.
Yep.
And she said, I want you to take this home with you. Don't look at it now, but I want you to take it home and look at it. And I got home, and it was all the letters that I sent her from jail, saying that I was going to turn my life around and I was going to actually chase my dream and do what I was going to do.
Wow.
And
What's
it
her
was
name? Melanie Palmer?
Melanie Palmer. Very good.
Shout out Melanie Palmer. That's
Shout
awesome.
out to Melanie.
Yeah, seriously.
You know,
that's awesome.
and it just...
That's a friend move right there. That's,
Yeah,
that's
that's-
somebody who
I'd
she
take-
didn't.
I'd take a
she
bullet
didn't-
for her in
She
2
didn't
seconds.
scold you. She didn't.
Oh, she scolded the hell
Oh, she
out
did?
of me.
Oh, okay.
yeah, she
Okay.
did.
All right.
Oh, yeah,
All
she
right.
did.
All right. I thought she just gave you the letters and goes, here you go.
Well, no,
Just go read those.
afterwards.
After scolding the shit out of you and it didn't work,
She said...
then she went to the
She said, was that a reality check or what?
Wow.
Look what you said and look what you're doing. Like,
Wow.
smarten the fuck up.
And then that from there, you
Well, I
kinda,
mean, eventually.
yeah.
But that,
no,
that
it's hard.
really,
But hey, listen,
it
it's
put
hard
a
to get
fire
off
under
that
my
path,
ass.
But
It
the
really,
fact that you were able to is amazing. I mean, that's
yeah, it definitely put a fire under my ass.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Well, listen, I really appreciate you coming on. You know, like same thing. We just reach out, just meet people. I just reached out to you on Facebook. We just started talking. You got a great story. I'm glad you were able to come on and tell
Appreciate
it.
you guys having me.
We're looking to grow with you as well. You know what I mean? Like we have the podcast that we're doing, the Mack Talks, this podcast right here. We also have Mack Media. So, you know, let's stay in touch. Let's kind of
Absolutely.
grow together. Chase is going to go ahead and kind of close us out and give all your handles and all of our handles and everything. He likes to spell a lot of shit out though. So
Sounds
go
good.
ahead, Chase.
Spell away.
Yeah, so thanks everybody for joining us. And if you're looking to find out more information about Sando Films, you can find Sando Films Productions on Facebook. You can find the Instagram at Sando Films Productions, and on YouTube at Sando Films Productions. Pretty consistent there. I like it. If you're looking to follow me or Scott on Instagram, or the Mack Talks, it's at Mack Talks, MACK Talks. And then you can follow Scott at Scotty_content_. You can follow me, Chase_Hutchison_ on Instagram. You could also find us on Facebook. That's the Mack Talks on Facebook. So,
And then give his what's your personal Facebook? What is it? Just
Scott Sandinato,
Yep. And then-
parentheses, Sando Films.
Okay.
But I want to say one more
Go
thing.
ahead. Go ahead.
For any time that anybody tries to tell you that you can't do something,
Yeah.
prove them wrong
Yeah.
and do it.
That's what we love to hear, man. It's true. And that's what this kind of story is all about.
Work hard
So-
and don't stop. It's
Yeah.
just till you get what you want.
I love it. That's a quote.
Awesome.
That's the
That's the
quote.
quote.
That's the quote.
quote.
You heard it here first.
Yeah, we always do this quote thing that we do. Like throughout the week, we just push the guest and stuff, and we do this thing where we have their face and we have the quote. That's
That's
quote.
badass. That's a badass quote
All
right
right,
there.
good.
That might be the best one so far. If anyone tells you you can't do something, do it. Anyway.
Yep.
Do it.
All right, Scott, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, guys.
Looking forward to growing with you and kind of looking to see you do some big things. Good luck with the shoot in Atlanta. Can't wait to see it, and we'll stay in touch.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
Awesome.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Take care.
Next time.